Kính mời đại chúng chắp tay niệm Phật. Please join your palms so we will recite the name of the Buddha 3 times. Nam mô Good morning, my dear brothers, sisters, and friends. Welcome to our weekly Sunday service. Today is April the 5th, 2015. We are at the Chúc Monastery for our Sunday service. Today is also a special day for the Buddhist tradition that we commemorate the Bodhisattva named Avalokita. And to those who are familiar with Chinese or Vietnamese, and you realize this Bodhisattva under the name Quang Âm. If you do not know who is she, and if you look right at the center of the main hall, there is a lady Buddha sit attentively on the lotus with a jar of water on her hand. And if you look on my right hand side, you also can recognize her statue, 3 faces. She used to hold the water jar with the willow branch. That is the very familiar image for those who want to portray or to draw or to make the statue of Avalokita. This Bodhisattva practice in Buddhism, Buddha and then Bodhisattva. Buddha is the one who enlightenment. Bodhisattva also the one who enlightenment, but they come back to help others. So that means anyone who able to help the others without any expectation in order to return. They do not ask to return what they have helped others. That's called Bodhisattva. Bodhi means awake. Sattva means being. A being that awake, we call Bodhisattva. So in every one of us, we also have the seed to be awake, because we are a being who able to awake like the Buddha. But the Bodhisattva is the one who willing to involve themselves in the society in order to help others. And this Bodhisattva, what is her practice? Listening deeply. So the same as you heard that I read the evoking of her name. We evoke your name, Avalokita. We evoke your name in order to learn your practice. That is the practice of listening deeply. In our daily society, we have 2 things to do every day. Either we talk or either we listen. But most of us, we like to talk more than like to listen, because we expect the others to listen to us more than we willing to listen to others. And that is the reason why life sometimes unbalanced. And because we want to talk, others also want to talk. So someone talk, then someone willing to hear. That in order to make things balanced, in order to make things easier to solve if there is a problem. If there is a problem happen in life, we need to sit down, maybe with 2, with 3 or more. Let one person talk, the others listen. We listen in order to understand what is that person's needed. And then we will find out the way to solve. The solution is already in each of us. But the main thing is we need to make the decision together. And that is the reason why we need to sit down, we need to speak out what we want. And then after everyone listened, we collect all the ideas and we combine as a solution to solve the problem. Life always has problems, but life also has happiness. If by accidentally we turn to the wrong entrance, there will be an exit. If we drive, we turn on the right, we turn to the wrong exit, there will be a way out. So life has garbage, but if we are a good farmer, we can transform garbage into compost. Problems can become the lecture for all of us to learn to grow up. We learn from our mistakes, but if we do not listen to the mistakes, how can we find out what's wrong with that? So we listen in order to reflect. When somebody raises their idea, we listen in order to reflect. Maybe what we have learned, what we know is not totally correct. Because in this life, there is nothing called completely correct. So what we need to do, we need to find out the best in many. We try the best. Of course, we cannot be perfect, and no one is perfect. But how to make this life become perfect? Because we try to offer a little out of our best to make us a greater best. So this is what you call the flower arrangement. I cannot only use just one leaf in order to make this decoration. So we need many different flowers. So we arrange the flowers, but we also need some leaves. Leaves are not the main thing, but the leaves will make the flower more nicer. So the leaf is not the main thing we use to arrange, but we cannot miss the leaves, because without the leaves, flower look not nice. So therefore, in this society, in this life, somebody will be the main, but we need the community. Together, it's become the beautiful flower arrangement. A family also like the flower arrangement. Somebody will be carnation, somebody will be lily, somebody will be something else. We come together as a vase of the flower. And we can offer your flower to your loved one every day. What is your flower offering? Your action, your behavior, your words. So every single words, every single behavior, that is the flower that you offer to your loved one. I have one of my youngest students. I asked him to study some of the chanting. I asked him to memorize that chanting by heart. So in order to forcing him to do it, I told him, do you love Thầy? He said, yes. You want to give Thầy some gift? He said, yes. Try to memorize that in this spring break. So if you have 1 week off from school, try to memorize that chanting, and that will be the gift for Thầy. So sometimes in life, you don't have to expect some person to give you something, but the way we treat each other daily, That is a more reality gift. You're smiling, your greeting is already. You love your mom, offer her your school mark. She will be happy if she look at your what is that called? Report card. You can turn your mom and your dad, you able to bring them to hell very easily if you bring back home with a very bad mark in your report card, and they go to hell right away. But if they look at your mark and with a high mark, you bring them to heaven right away. So heaven and hell is right there, right in your report card. So your mom's and your dad's happiness, it depends on you. Depend on the way you live. Depend on the way you treat them. Depend on the way you talk to them. Husband and wife is the same. We don't know each other. We love each other. We make the vow to come to each other. Maybe we have background differently. But how can we make this united become eternal if we cannot listen to each other? If we cannot talk to each other? Somebody, your wife start to say, I don't want to hear, so please don't say it. Then how can that person relieve what is inside of them? We need to listen. Sometimes it's very negative. But you still need to listen, because that is the way in order for you to understand that person. You know what's wrong with them now. Don't just expect to hear the positive, because that is only one side of life. The other side of life is negative. It's like when you cover the table with the tablecloth. The tablecloth also have two faces. You always want the right one outside. But what is the other side? The wrong one. You know it's wrong, that's why you never flip it over. But without that negative, we do not know that is the right one. Life is the same. So why the Bodhisattva hold the holy water jar on her hand? Sometimes you see the Buddha and the Bodhisattva use a lot of symbol on their hands. Because our hand can make everything. I remember one of the words as a novice we must learn. Using water to wash my hands. I vow that everyone also have the beautiful hands, so they can help this planet. They can be preserved for the planet. Everything depends on your hands. Sometimes people say, happiness is in your hand. So what does that mean? This hand can make everything. Can build a table, can arrange the flower, can write. Your writing, if you have a mindful enough, you can write something beautifully to make people happy. Without mindfulness, you can write something very bad to make people unhappy. So happiness or unhappiness depend on your hand. Sometimes just a signature, you sign down everything done. So in the long time ago, we still have the tradition of governed by the king. We are very scared the signature of the king. So if the king sign down on something, that person must be dead. So the Bodhisattva hold a willow branch. A willow branch. That means to be flexible. The willow branch is very flexible. Can go to the left, can go to the right. But when the wind stops, the willow branch stay where they're supposed to be. Like us as a monastic, Sunday we service. We do serving. We cook, we clean, we arrange, we do a lot of things. in order to service for the community. But what is the weekdays? We practice. So we cannot expect, oh, I don't want anyone to come to my place. It's too noisy. Be flexible. When it's noisy, you adapt. But you know this is only temporary. The main thing of as a monastic life is go back to yourself. Whether it's noisy or not. Weekend or weekdays, you practice the same. The willow branch symbolizes for the flexibility of living. The water symbolizes for the patience. If you want to be successful in your future, your life, you must learn how to be patient. What is patience? Accept. The more you accept, the more you're happy. The more you expect, the more you're angry. Because you only expect, but you never learn how to open your heart to accept. So in the Buddhist tradition, when we commemorate a Buddha or a Bodhisattva, or to bow the Buddha, is to the way to learn. So remember, we call the name of the Buddha. We recite the name of the Buddha in order to learn the practice of that Buddha. Do you know a happy Buddha? With the big belly, happy face, old fat monk, holding a bag. Why we bow to him? We learn to be happy like him. How can he be happy like that? He can let go easily. He is not like us. We are very easy to take, but very hard to let it go. That's the problem. So when we bow to a happy Buddha, learn to let go like him so he can happy all the time. And because he empty what is negative, that's why he can take a lot of positive. Big belly symbolized for two things. Able to let go things supposed to be let go. Accept things to be accepted. So we never refuse to listen. But after listening, we reflect. What is good to take? What is bad to detach? So in Buddhism, we have three things to practice in order to attain enlightenment and wisdom. Listening, reflecting, and practice. Don't just listen. Listen and then reflect. After you reflect, what is need to be keep and practice, you continue to practice. If you want to gain your wisdom, your insight, this is the only way. Listening in order to practice. Because what is the purpose of life? We learn to live. If we live and we don't learn how to live, we are unable to live happily. So today, according to our Sunday service, when I have a chance to give a talk, I share with you briefly something related to our daily practice. And today we commemorate the Bodhisattva named Quán Thế Âm Avalokita. And please, when you're able to bow to her, make your solemn vow. I vow to practice like the Buddha, like the Bodhisattva, always listening. Listening to relieve the suffering of others. Sometimes you don't have to wait until they speak up. By looking at their eyes, their face, you already know what they want to tell you. Because a lot of their inner show on their eyes. Vietnamese, we used to say, your eyes are the windows of your heart. What you think inside is already shown on your eyes. Sometimes people laugh very loud, but we still can see they show the sadness inside on their eyes. So look at your mom, look at your dad, look at your loved one. You also can learn what's wrong with them today. You don't have to wait until they speak out. You can help them right away if you recognize that. So that's why the Bodhisattva have the third eye. Sometimes you see the statue of the Buddha have the third eye. What is the third eye symbolized for? The eyes of understanding. The understanding, the eyes of understanding, the eyes of wisdom, the eyes of insight. This is your human eyes. Sometimes you see it wrong. But if you have this eye right here, you can see things truly. Thank you for your listening. I hope you enjoy your weekend.